Hello and welcome to this edition of Healthy Habits. I'm your host, Amie Davis. I'm at Holly Park in El Segundo with today's guest, Lori Steele of Steele Yoga. Today, Lori is going to show us some simple yet effective yoga poses that help promote healthy aging. Lori, could you first start with explaining to us a little bit about why yoga helps promote healthy aging?
Well, as we age, we tend to get a little less confident in our physical abilities, and especially if you've already had an injury or you've fallen, you just really don't want to be active anymore. So we're going to do some poses today that are basically going to help with stabilizing your muscles, helping you to learn how to balance safely and correctly, to also help give you a little bit more confidence and a boost, so that way you can go out and do all the things that you're used to doing and want to do.
Great. Well, what's the first pose that you're going to show me? What are you going to have me do?
The first thing you're going to do is actually lay down on the floor.
All right.
So we're actually going to use the floor as basically a guideline to help you gauge where your body normally rests at.
Like our posture.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So when you've got something to lay up against, you have, a place to tell if one hip is higher than another, or an ankle or a shoulder. So go ahead and flex your feet. So just like you're standing on the ground and just having your arms at your side. And then what do you feel on the mat right now?
I feel my calves, against the mat. I feel like they're engaged. My feet are engaged. My hips are engaged. But I feel like my hips are a little off. I am a little bit.
Like one's a little higher than the other? So what do you need to do to get the other hip down?
Maybe focus on putting it towards the mat and evening it out.
So now when that's evened out, what muscles did you just use? What did you feel getting?
My lower back and my upper glute area.
Great.
Right?
So you want to remember that, because next we're going to stand up and recreate this entire feeling that you have now. So I always recommend just staying here for maybe 10 breaths or so, and really going all the way from your toes to your head, feeling what's working to keep you nice and stable on the ground. So once you've kind of got that figured out, then we're going to
take a nap.
Yeah. But it's an active,
it's
not a passive one. You're actively working and seeing what you're having to use right now to keep your body even and stable. All right, so now we're gonna stand up and we're gonna recreate that entire pose on your feet.
Okay.
So standing up, flexing through your feet, and you mentioned before that one hip was higher than another, so re-engage those same muscles that you did when you were on the floor, so that way that feels even for you.
I think it feels pretty even.
Feels even? You feel stable and strong?
I do.
Yeah? Okay, now close your eyes.
Okay. Maybe a little not quite as stable.
So that's the next part, is closing your eyes. So when we take vision out of the picture, all of a sudden our awareness goes away and we come internally. So you have to now focus on, do you need to pull your core in a little bit more? Do you need to stand firmer in your legs and engage those? Should you take your tailbone down? What can you do to help yourself not wobble around so much? Focus on that, hold all those things in, and now remember that. Go ahead and open your eyes. And now it's easier to stand, right? Okay.
Obvious.
So that's like the first balance.
I don't feel like I'm swaying.
Yeah. First balance exercise.
Okay.
So then with the eyes open, now slowly just reach your arms forward and overhead. And as you start to change and shift your weight, what muscles engage to help you stay balanced here?
I mean, I definitely feel like my calves, my low back, my abs.
Okay.
Definitely, I feel like this helped sort of keep me grounded.
Okay.
Instead of
I
definitely felt my abs engaged.
Okay, then slowly take the arms back down, just paying attention to what muscles are being worked. And just go ahead and do that a couple more times. So inhale, arms reach up. So the reason we're just doing this back and forth and actually going really slowly is because the part about balance is not so much that it's just so easy to balance, like you just are born balancing. Obviously we have to learn how to walk. So as we learn to realize what muscles are being used to keep us engaged and keep us standing steady and strong, that's why we go slow, so that we can learn what those muscles are again. We just have to relearn the process. So next part, once you feel really comfortable there and you're stable and nice and strong, you're just gonna go ahead and reach your arms overhead again.
Same way?
Yep, same way.
Okay.
And then you're gonna step your right foot back just like a big stride, like you're walking backwards.
Okay.
Perfect, so both legs nice and straight.
And arms up.
And arms up.
Okay.
So now here to balance, what you have to go through your body, what muscles are being engaged. And then you're gonna start to shift your weight into your left foot and then bring the right foot up to meet the left. So you're starting to slowly balance on that left foot. And then we'll take it to the other side. So the left foot steps back. Focus on what muscles are being worked right here. Right, so when your arms are overhead, it's a little more difficult to balance. And then you're gonna just slowly take the weight to the right foot and bring it up. And I just recommend doing this about 5 or 6 times. This can just be scary enough for someone to do that's had an injury. So if you start to feel a little wobbly, bring your hand to a wall or to a chair. So you're really working now even your glutes as you come up, and your hips and your core. And then the next one, you bring your arms out to the side, and you're gonna take a wider step back.
Okay.
And you're gonna stay on the ball of that back right foot, and then you're gonna start bending in the front left knee. So this is even more of a balance, because now you're balancing on the back right foot. You don't even have the heel down. And if you want a little more stability here, again, having a chair or something to hold on to, or pressing your heel into a wall. So if you have a wall to actually push that heel into, it's gonna help you feel like a little steadier.
Okay.
So from here, and you're gonna just exhale, bring the foot up. That's the balance part again.
Okay.
And then we take it back to the other side, just doing the same thing.
Okay.
So not only is this pose great for helping you with your balance and starting to understand the muscles that stabilize you, but it's also good. It starts to work out your thighs, your calves, your core, and your booty. So it's also a little bit
I feel it.
of a good workout. Awesome. Okay, so now once you're comfortable in those, then we actually go to a full one-legged balance, which is tree pose. Yay! Okay, so just go ahead and bring your hands to your hips.
Okay.
And then just going into the ball of the right foot. So just bringing the ball of the right foot up. And then you want to pull that left hip back so you're kind of sitting up nice and tall.
Okay, so.
And then once that hip is up and back, now turn the right knee open. So now we're starting to have a little bit more weight on that left foot, a little less weight on the right foot. So this is where the starting point is for tree pose. And then if you feel stable here, you're just gonna go ahead and let that foot come to your ankle.
Okay.
Yep.
And like you said, a wall if you can't balance very
Exactly,
well.
a wall and balancing. And then you wanna make sure you're trying to keep this hip stable. So pulling this hip back and that hip forward so you're not sinking into that left hip. Awesome. And then next phase, you bring it to the calf.
Okay.
So you're using all the same muscles here that you used in the crescent pose and that stride back. And then the last one would be to bring the foot all the way up to the inner thigh.
Using your hand?
You can use your hand. Yep, reach down. So you gotta pull that left hip, use those quads. And you wanna make sure that you do not put the knee or the foot on the knee. So this is a no-no. Because what that does is it actually can push the knee out to the side and mess it up. So we want to make sure that we keep it protected. Yeah, here, I'm right here.
You'll be my wall. You'll be my wall. Okay.
So I say stay here for as many breaths as you can. And this pose is fantastic because not only does it build like external strength because you're working your glutes and your abs and your core, but it also brings internal strength. So this is a great one for self-confidence because once you're like, you know what? I can stand on my leg for 5 minutes. I'm totally fine. When you walk up those bleachers to your grandkids' softball game, you're gonna have that confidence that you also need. So this is great for building that internal self-confidence as well. Since you've worked your hip flexors so much and your low back and your core, I always recommend coming into like a nice restorative relaxing pose. So for this one, I would recommend lying on your back, and it's called corpse pose, but you would have your knees bent and your legs, your calves maybe on like a chair or a couch just to kind of relax yourself.
So you'd be laying down doing this pose.
So you'd just be laying down.
Thank you so much, Lori. That was awesome. I feel younger and healthier already, and I'm really excited to continue using these poses in my everyday life. I think many people can benefit from this, so thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you for having me again.
Of course. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Healthy Habits. Until next time, namaste.